Pleasure to invite the first speaker, the Prime Minister, to participate.
Welcome. I represent the first proposition, and what I'm going to do is what we believe is this House believes that we are going to legalize the sex toys that resemble children. So what this means is that we are going to be drawing a line, and we're going to be setting this line and where we can decide that legalizing sex toys that resemble children, that this is okay, and we are saying that this is allowed. So what this means is, first of all, is that you're eliminating a potential black market, and this means that you're, what I'm going to do is, this is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how this isn't going to make it, this is going to provide an outlet for people who would normally rape children, how this is going to mean that you can use this as rehabilitation for pedophiles. And what my partner here is going to talk about afterwards is she's going to link this to real-world examples and talk more about how this isn't going to be very harmful. And then, so first of all, if you legalize and you say that it is okay to have sex toys that resemble children, you are removing a taboo, which I think is very important. And it can be even linked to underage drinking, where in the US, this isn't talked about at all. And so it becomes a big problem, because when it's not talked about and people don't even want to think about it, that this is something that people are going to do anyway, no matter what you do, then this becomes a problem. And so, which can be linked back. And so what I'm going to talk about is how this isn't going to this is going to provide an outlet for people. More than anything, when people who find the need to rape children, or these sick people that they feel that that is what they need to do, and we're not saying that child rape is okay, and we understand that that is horrible. So what we're trying to do here is we're reducing that. And this means that people who would go and they would rape a child, instead they're going to use a sex toy which is not going to involve an innocent child. Also, what this means is that you are eliminating or reducing specifically a great source of horrible things that are happening in this world today. And this means that you are able to provide an outlet for these people that would otherwise be doing something terrible.
A question?
Yeah.
What if this person goes to buy a sex toy which resembles children, and in this way he shows that he has this inclination, and this way he can be caught by the police or suspected of something?
Okay. Well, this I think it's a relevant point, and I'm going to be addressing it. What this I think can be likened to is pornography, where pornography is allowed. People who watch pornography are not any more likely to go out and have violent sex with somebody just because they saw that on tape. So if you're providing an outlet for these people, they're not going to be going and doing this with actual children, which is the horrible part of this problem. And you're also, when you're talking about pornography, you can be thinking that it's much better than even child pornography. We'd also be eliminating that problem, where you don't have actual children who have to stand in front of a camera and do things that they shouldn't be doing, because these are robots, they're not real people. And so you're eliminating another problem there. And also what's important here is that you're drawing a line. And when you decide that this is the line we are drawing, then you can minimize a problem before it grows. And this is not something we want to see grow. This is something we want to stop before it gets bad. And we believe that making these sex toys legal is going to be a way of stopping this problem. Also, what you're doing is, and another example that you can think of is war movies. People who watch more war movies and see bloody films, they're not any more likely to go out and shoot people and kill somebody. Right. No, thank you. So if you're saying that it's okay for you to do this, but so that you aren't harming actual children, then you're letting these people who have it psychologically ingrained in their mind that this is something that they're going to be doing. And if you're saying, no, you can't do this, you can do it with somebody who's not actually real, you're not harming the child. Which we think is very important. And then more than anything, we also believe that it can be a great resource for rehabilitation of pedophiles. These people, even though they go through rehabilitation, they still have a 4 times more likely rate of recidivism than other crimes and other people who are rehabilitated.
Question?
No, thank you. And so what this means is you are going to be able to reduce this, because even though they get out of jail, you're still going to have that percentage of people who are still going to go and they are going to recidivate. They are going to continue with this. And you will be able to prevent that. You're going to be able to help them rehabilitate because you will be providing them with an outlet alternative to where they would normally be going, which is a route, which is a route that we do not want to see anybody go down. Also, we believe that you are giving these people the right to choose, which is very important. Because as a person who, for example, if you have a man who would never go and use a child sex toy, then he would never go and use it, and that doesn't mean that just because it's available he's going to go and use it and he's going to go rape a child. This does not mean that. What it means is that you're not creating a bigger problem at all. You're solving a problem. You're reducing something that's horrible in the world that we really want to get rid of. And because we are the ones who are drawing this line, and we are the ones who are saying that we are providing an alternative route to people who otherwise have no choice and they can't control this. You're providing an alternative route for these people, and you are reducing the rate of a child rape, which is horrible. I don't think we even need to tell you this. Because these people, they are mentally inclined to do this. And if you are providing them then this outlet, then they won't be going and doing that. And you are also giving them the right to choose that if the person says that they're going to go and rape a child, then they don't have to, because they have a different way of solving the problem. In conclusion, we believe that legalizing the sex toys which resemble children will not be harmful, but in fact be a benefit to society.
Right, I thank the speaker for her speech and invite the first speaker for opposition, now the leader of opposition.
Sorry, there's not very much space. Okay, hello. I will start with the refutation of previous speech. So, first of all, what they're talking about is that this will solve the problem for those sick people. And what we actually say that is it won't work, and this is not the medicine. And we are not going to make some fake shops for people who steal, and we are not going to make some fake victims for people who like to kill other people. These are the things that we don't perceive as normal, and we don't want to make those things as understandable for everyone. We don't want to make them to talk about those things, because we actually believe that sexuality and this kind of effect on children might be very, very harmful. No, not yet. And they talked about those some kind of that this will also there won't be any child porno anymore, because there will be those robots, and this will solve some kind of problem. But actually, there are some kind of robot women, but I don't think that we have seen porn with robot women, or it is any kind of popular, because this won't actually solve any kind of problems. Because if there are this kind of sick people, we have to make sure that everyone understands it's not a normal thing to do, and we have to be ashamed. Those people should be ashamed for those things, but they actually do.
Now,
And no. And why this is so really bad, like and is so much more worse than any kind of other porn or those kind of things, is that here are affected children. And we want this. Actually, every person is children at some point, and this is the time when they are creating, when they are learning how to understand world, when they are learning those values, when they are creating their self-conscious and those kind of things. And we believe that family should be this place where actually a family and children and adult relationships should be this real safe place, and children shouldn't hear or think even about this kind of possible harms. And when we are talking about right to choose, then we believe that we don't give such a right to choose when we are talking about crimes. And we don't. There are free rights of people, but we are actually saying that people can't choose whether to kill people, whether to rape people. There are some values in society, and we are standing for those values. And to continue with my case, I want to talk about active harms for other people. Okay, sex and other kind of entertainment, it's individual thing till it harms other people. And this is actually a place where it harms other people, and when children are really affected. Because this is not only psychologically, but also possibly physically. Because sexuality is actually in this deeply conscious thing. Because when people do something, this might seem normal also in other kind of conditions. And when some kind of people, sick people do some kind of things with toy, there isn't big difference between. It's hard to draw this difference between some kind of toy and real children, and actually when there are some cases of pedophiles and actually people who are harming children, we are putting them in jails, and we actually think that governments should have very heavy policy there. Okay, question.
A simple question: is it possible to treat pedophilia? Can you heal those people?
We believe that this kind of things to do some kind of pedophilia is really bad thing, and that's why for people not to do for people, okay, they can think what they want, but when they do some kind of things, we can actually put them in jail. And we don't want to make any kind of soft rules for those sick people. And we are not going to make them give them some kind of opportunities to do that. And we actually don't believe that there are any good things that come out of this policy. And what I also want to talk about is this family model we are standing for, because as I said, children have to feel very safe in their family, and this is the place where there are those good relationships between mother, father, and this child, and children and any kind of other things can really have any kind of even thoughts can for children can have really damaging effects on their development and their understanding about life. First, government said that we should talk about those problems and say them loud and so on. But even this kind of conversation that some people have to say to his child, well, there are people, there are parents who rape their child and who do things like that. We think this could actually damage those children, even thinking about this.
Right, I thank the speaker for her speech and invite the second speaker from the opening government.
Hello. First, I'm going to do a little bit of rebuttal on what the first opposition has said. Then I will reinforce the points of our first speaker, and then bring in a new point about how the system we have right now is not working. Okay, so first for the rebuttal. You've talked about these pedophiles as sick people. Yes, they are sick people. That's the point we want to make. And I feel like you kind of ignored the question that the second proposition has made about healing them. And I will get to that later. That's a main point in this debate. And then you've talked about that they're not normal people and they should feel ashamed. Yes, we're not saying that they shouldn't be ashamed of what they're doing. But we're saying that being ashamed, that's not really stopping what's happening. And that we're saying that legalizing these sex toys resembling children could be a possible way to help the problem, and that it's beneficial to the problem. Okay, so then you talk about protecting children, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're not saying that it's okay to rape children. We're not saying that it's okay to go do that. But we're saying that maybe if you let these rapists, that they're psychologically inclined towards children, and that normal people aren't going to see a sex toy resembling children and go rape children. We're talking in this debate about pedophiles, and that what this effect of legalizing robotic sex toys will do. And you think that, or no thank you. The opposition has said clearly that they think that this will make the problem worse, that they think that that there should be a line, and they think that it should be before this. But we think that actually if you put the line after this, that if you allow these sex toys, that the pedophiles will have an outlet, that this could be helpful in their healing, that our system right now, since they have a very high rate of recidivism, the system we have of sending them to jail, making them feel ashamed, we're not saying that that's not okay, we're saying that that's not working, that's not enough, and that maybe, no thank you, maybe if we allow these sex toys, that this can help them have an outlet instead of raping children, that this, no thank you, that this is another way. We're trying to protect the children as well. I feel like we are all trying to protect the children, and saying that these sex toys are not okay, saying that families, you talk about families being and growing up being a safe place for children, and we want to know why a world where rape happens very often, why that is a safe place for children, and why is that okay? It is already not a safe world, and thinking that if we don't talk about this problem, if we don't bring it up and try and make it better, that is just going to make the problem so much worse. That the children are already being raped. We need to deal with it, and we need to deal with it better than we are doing with that right now. So you've talked about children and that we need to punish them, and that we can't, that these sex toys will make it okay. We're not saying that if you say, okay, you can have sex toys resembling children, that's not the same as saying it's okay to rape children. People aren't going to say, oh, I see a sex toy, oh, and now I'm going to rape children. This is a way of helping the pedophiles, and this is going into my point about healing. The second proposition made a very good point, talking about healing. Can you heal pedophiles? And the answer to that question is no. It is psychologically ingrained that they feel attracted to children, and that is a fact that we have to accept and we have to deal with better than sending them to prison and make them feel ashamed. Obviously, yes, please.
There are all those kind of actions affect other parties in society, and why those sick people deserve those kind of actions that may have really bad effects on other parts of society. Why they deserve that?
Okay. So I think from what your point was that why do they deserve being able to have these robotic sex toys? Okay. So I think we're dealing with that now. We're not saying that, okay, it's okay to rape children, okay, it's okay what you did. We're just saying that we're putting the children first. We think that it's most important, the protection of the children, and we think that this will help in, since we cannot heal these people, it will help in making the situation better. Because it is obviously that putting them in jail is not working out, and that we need a new way to deal with the problem. And I think that when you talked about also shoplifters and you talked about things like that, that's not the same as pedophiles. Pedophiles have it ingrained in their mind, it's psychological. Shoplifters, it's for very different reasons, and that is the reason that recidivism for pedophiles is greatest, because they are psychologically inclined to what they're doing, and that's why it needs to be dealt with in a different way than other things. You say, no, it's not normal. No, you don't think, people don't think it's okay. Obviously, it's not okay to rape children. That's not what the debate is about. The debate is about how this affects, and we're saying that the benefit of allowing these sex toys resembling children is so much greater than what you have talked about as negative points. No, thank you. And I think I would like to just really go back to this point about families, because it seemed to be a main point in your speech. And families are, yes, it's children growing up, we need to protect them. That's what the debate is about. The debate is about children and protecting them, and we're trying to protect them in a different way. We're trying to think outside the box, because the system we're using is not okay. In all other examples in society, we say, okay, let's look at this in a new way if it's not working. But just because we think that raping children is so horrible, and we agree with that, it doesn't mean you can't talk about it, and it doesn't mean you can't find new ways of dealing with it. If you have new technology and you have new ways to deal with things, you need to utilize them in the best way, and you need to make positive choices for society and protect the children, which are the next generation. And we agree that children are most important. So just to kind of sum everything up I've said and make it very clear to you, we think that you talked about the active harms of these sex toys, and we say no, people who aren't going to rape children aren't going to rape them just because they see sex toys. The people who are sick, they are sick, and you can't heal them. And how we are trying to heal them is not working. Shame does not work. Jail does not work. We need a new way. And we think that this new way is to allow them to have an outlet through robotic sex toys, which resemble children. And whether it's disgusting, yes, it's disgusting, but rape is disgusting. We're protecting the children, and children always need to be put first. They're very important in society. Thank you.
Right, thanks speaker for her speech. Now I invite second speaker for opposition.
Greetings, everyone. First, with a rebuttal, then on to my case. Healing pedophiles with sex toys. I mean, really, can you heal a person who has been used to having sex with children, and then you say, okay, you can't do it anymore, we'll just give you a blow-up Justin Bieber doll, and then you can do away with him. No, that's how every pedophile, every rapist, everything, they progress. Drug addicts, they start with light drugs, end up with heavy, and you can't go back from heavy drugs to light drugs. That's why the same happens with all the rapists. They start as simple fornicators who fornicate looking at whatever. Putting people in jail doesn't solve problem, and they cannot be healed. We agree. They're like psychopaths who murder people, chop them with axes and do stuff like that. They cannot be changed. But the problem with recidivism again, amongst them is that they get sentences so long that they don't get out of prison for repeating their problems. The same can be applied for pedophiles. Don't let them out of prison. Just we see that yes. Pedophiles have this problem, this is psychological. Sentences are too short if they come out after all. Now on to my case. There has been very weird stuff on the internet. There's all kinds of porn. I don't even want to talk about it. But, I mean, government has really stepped on a new level. Robotic sex toys resembling children. If children see this, if children see this, this is an irreversible damage. These children who see them, they see them being put in a new role. It is not, they see them as part of these acts, as part of these things they don't yet understand, their psyche is not ready for it. They will feel threatened. They will always feel threatened by this new invention that government plans to legalize. Therefore, they will no longer be able to fully develop themselves properly, and prepare them for themselves, for their lives. They will no longer see their parents as they used to see. They will see their parents, and they will see their parents' faces on those people that they have seen doing these things. And fine, government may talk about this never being legal, but everything does leak, and no matter how hard you try to keep porn away from children, inevitably it goes to this. This will cause two problems. Firstly, family. As my partner already spoke, we as government value this family bond, this special family bond between parents and children. And this new sex toys and this new potential information reaching children will destroy this bond, and if not destroy, then harm it. I'll take it in a second. And also, people will have a harsh damage. These children will have irreversible damage on their psyches, which will prevent their normal development on their lives. Yeah.
But what is more damaging, a real rape, or if he just speaks on something he cannot understand?
The idea with this is that government is falsely assuming that by giving a rapist a sex toy, it will feast his hunger. But in reality, what happens is that if, say, a pedophile is in therapy and he is going through this process of getting rid of these desires for children, this sex toy will renew his lust, his hunger for children, and this will in no way help, but just renew his lust and his need for children. Now, government stance. We see that government has to show its values. Government has to, by its decisions, its legislation, and its public stance, has to show its stance, its position on issues, on values, and other things. And as agreed by the government's stance is that children have to be protected. This is one of the core values in our society. And government decisions influence how people react. If government legalizes this, some people, I do not say that all people just will go and do buy sex toys and start doing this, but it in some way says that pedophilia is okay, and that government accepts it. Government accepts it by legalizing these robotic sex toys. Of course, not all people will go to shops and buy it, but these people who have these urges, however deep buried down and suppressed by their psyche, these urges that they may have on a basic level, when reawakened by government, may burst out and eventually turn into real serious pedophilia. By denying it, government shows its stance, and by not legalizing these robotic sex toys, government shows its stance as a complete taboo on sex or any other inappropriate actions with children. If a possibility, and for these pedophiles, it will never be enough with just toys. It is similar to addicts. They start as small timers and they end up big. This will in turn progress. Either it is a pedophile who has just gotten out of prison and has gotten himself a toy robot. He will eventually feel that his needs can no longer be satisfied by this robot sex toy. He will in turn be urged and heavily urged towards raping a child, which we see as the worst possible outcome scenario. In turn, this government stands, that government shows that pedophilia is okay. We legalize sex toys. We know it's bad, but fine. Let people do their way with these sex toys. We say that this is bad, and that this will in turn increase pedophiles and in turn cause harms for children. what I have told you is that, firstly, if children know of this, and this is inevitable, as everything leaks on the internet, and if children do come across this, it is inevitable damage to their psyche, which will damage both their family bonds and both their psyche, rendering them less capable of developing themselves over their lifetime. And secondly, government has to stand for its values. Government, if it is willing to protect its children, it has to show that pedophilia is bad, either if you pretend you're doing it with a kid, but in reality you're doing it with a doll, or if you're doing it with a kid. Thank you.